This is Katie Shell. I'm an intuitive healer and spiritual counselor. I work a lot with aromatherapy, astrology, and movement as part of my energy work practice. My kind of mission statement is helping people to love themselves and trust their bodies. So that is why I love working with the essential oils and with the astrology, because the astrology help us understand ourselves and our motivations a lot better, and then tuning into and trusting our bodies helps us actually process things, actually feel, sense, and be in the physical world. So what I have is each sign I have paired with a different essential oil, and you can get ritual cards to with some of them have affirmations, some of them have just different things that you can do with them, and each sign and each oil has a different card. I do have other oils that are recommended for each sign to support the energy of it. It's not necessarily to balance it. So today we're talking about Scorpio. So you might want a Taurus. If you're really heavy Scorpio, you might actually want to look at Taurus oils to help balance that out. But what I'm working with is the oils that kind of embody the energy of that sign. So for Scorpio, again, I said Scorpio. Other oils and I actually have another video on hyssop and Scorpio. I have another video on neroli, which didn't specifically talk about Scorpio, but it is a great Scorpio oil. So you can check out those videos too. But this one is black cardamom, and there are two oils that come from the cardamom family. There's green cardamom and black cardamom, and both are going to work on heart, both are going to work on emotions, both are going to be about timing, about releasing, about shedding. And so it is, but the black cardamom, anything black, is going to work on shadow. It's going to help us see into areas that maybe we're not comfortable with, areas about things about ourselves that we're not comfortable with, things that are our fears, our pains, all of that. And it helps us drop into that, but from this very loving place. And it helps us shed things. So we're in fall. Scorpio season comes in, is at the end of the solar cycle, right? So it's coming. It's the time where we're shedding, we're releasing to create that bridge, that I like to say, the bridge between death and life, shedding that little bit of light to be nourished through the dark months, and then be sparked again and be nourished in the earth, in the warm, safe, dark earth, to then be reborn in the new season when the sun returns. So again, working with the black cardamom seed is going to help us shedding. It's going to help us tune into the heart, help us shed what it is that is not serving us, what doesn't feel right, what doesn't feel good. It's going to help us access those depth of emotions. It's going to help us understand our shadow, and it's going to help us through fear. It's going to help us not being afraid of fear. Like the joke that I've said before with this is FDR says, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. But really, we shouldn't even be feeling fear, because fear is always a lesson. There's always a lesson behind the fear. There is always something better to know about ourselves, or know about some sort of, it's always about something about ourselves, really, ultimately. And so it helps us by moving through that fear, we're able to accept ourselves, and so we want to ask, so during the season, when you're working with the black cardamom, when you're working kind of in that Scorpio energy, asking yourself, what are you afraid of feeling? What are you afraid of seeing? What are you afraid of being? And and so we want to set that intention as we connect with the black cardamom. So you can put what I like to actually do is I like to drop it directly into my belly button, because it gets into some of those, it gets into that root chakra, that sacral chakra, where those fears lie. It's also nice to put on the knees, on the feet. You can put it in the diffuser. All of that is going to help us kind of connect into that kind of those burrowing reaches of the earth below us. And the other thing that we want to do, the other option to work with it, is you can put it directly on the heart. So by putting it on the heart, I like drawing an infinity symbol on my heart. If you do work with Reiki, you can draw a Reiki symbols. There's a lot of symbols that you can draw while working with an essential oil that can kind of unlock things and unleash things. So that's a, you know, you can do your own research, or maybe eventually I'll put a video up on that too. But putting working with a symbol can help unleash something and help set that intention of what you want to open up. So when we put it on our heart, it's going to help release any blockages that are based, especially ones that are based in fear, and it'll help us see those and confront those. We can actually put some on our third eye to help us see into things, to help us to draw our awareness into something specifically that we want to focus on, so we can set that intention as well. And then the other thing is we can put it on our temple, again, on our temples and on our third eye, to allow ourselves to turn our intention inward, because this is all about this season, this time of year, whether you're talking Scorpio or just kind of this end of year time, is about tuning in and turning in to our inner feelings, into what it is that we desire, what it is we need, and just being with there and being comfortable with those feelings and sitting with those feelings. So again, by putting the black cardamom on the temples, on the heart, on the lower chakras, on the feet even, will help bring all that energy all the way through and connect all of those different areas of the body. Because for me, I find it very, very helpful to make sure that we are, so you can work on one area at a time, and that's absolutely wonderful way to do it, because you want to, if you're focusing on it. But I do a lot of times like to work on the head, the heart, and the lower, and the kind of the root, the lower chakras, so that we can create that continuity and that full channel through the body, to be able to move it. Otherwise, if it can get stuck in one place or another. So allowing that. I'm a movement person, so I like doing actual movement with this, or you can sit and meditate with it, whatever it is, journal. You can put it on your hands and actually journal while you're working with it. There's a lot of different ways to work with essential oils, and I actually have a whole class, available called Principles of Intuitive Aromatherapy, which really gets into all of that. It'll be available in different formats as time goes on, so depending on when you're watching this, that will make a difference on what is actually available. So that, I think that covers it for the black cardamom. Oh, one more thing is, it is, as you're doing this work, it is this essential part. I probably should have opened with this. It is very, very important for you to create a safe space for yourself, because when you're opening up to shadow, when you're opening up to kind of the dark reaches of your spirit, of your soul, whatever you want to call it. I use it in a different way these days. So, but those dark reaches of who we are, what we're experiencing, those things that are kind of trapped within us. We want to create a safe space for them to come out. Otherwise, we end up kind of glossing over it, or we don't feel it fully, or we get re-triggered, where it becomes even worse. So it's important to create that good safe space for yourself, and having some high vibrational oils on hand, or high vibrational whatever, if you're into sound healing, if you're into crystals, or whatever tools you use to raise your vibration, having some of those things around to kind of to bring you up out of it after you've gone into the shadow work. I personally love using rose hydrolyte spray, which is like rose water, and you can either drink that or spray that as I'm moving the energy, or obviously rose oil, any flower oil, any chocolate. Chocolate is good for kind of bringing yourself out of those darker reaches, and recreating that stability for yourself. So again, making sure that you are being completely kind, completely gentle with yourself whenever doing shadow work, because another thing that I say frequently to my students and clients is doing hard work, doing shadow work is hard, and it can be very taxing on the body. So it is essential that we are gentle with ourselves when we're doing it, because one, we don't want to re-trigger ourselves, and we don't want to make it harder on ourselves. We don't want to push ourselves and create more problems. And two, we actually miss things if we go too fast, if we do too much too quickly, and we may actually miss the biggest things that could be revealed. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There will be more as I create more on each sign and each card. I think I've put a couple out already. So find me at katieshell.com. Thank you very much and have a great day.